What's up, guys? MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always. Me, I've had a great day. The sun has finally made it to Stockholm. It's been a super pleasant day, and I'm also very positive due to the 6th anniversary stream the Dead by Daylight developers gave us yesterday. I have not done any type of content on Dead by Daylight that has me talking about the game other than like my first review. Other than that, I've posted some short clips, but I really love this game. So don't be surprised in the future if I do, you know, a couple of videos where I try to analyze the game a little bit. I'm still very, very humble towards the game. I've played it now since December. I had like 2 full months off, but I'm nowhere near good enough to really have some, you know, final and definitive opinions on the game. But I still want to discuss out of a standpoint of where I am right now and the knowledge I have right now, you know, regarding the news we now have on the game. And I just want to say that I was so happy with the anniversary stream. I've told my audience today on stream here that going in, I had some ideas in my head of like, these would be good and nice things to fix. And during the stream, like everything was checked one by one by one, and then some. You know, it's like they really knocked it out of the park. It's like, my God, are they on the ball in what I feel are the most important things to fix with the game. Now, all I wonder is, can they live up to this? Can they deliver what they've promised? Because if they do, wow, this game is going to be in a much better position, I think. But let's take them one at a time. They are going to, in terms of game health, improve matchmaking and account.
Will you shut up, Hellas?
That's the 4th time today I've had us play. I shit you not, and I've been streaming for 30 minutes. Knee has something to do with this, the bastard. Mercer, thanks for subbing. We're gonna improve matchmaking and accounting for various playstyles. We don't know what this means. I don't think they gave too much information of this. A lot of people want to see MMR go away. Skill batches? No, what is it? SPMM, skill-based matchmaking. That's a mouthful for a Swede. Skill-based matchmaking, MMR. A lot of people want to see it go. I'm not entirely sure in what direction I want to see that, if I want to see it go or not. But I do find it interesting that a game that's not particularly well balanced or competitive, well, it turns competitive by its community, but MMR in a game like this, where this game exists somewhere around a hardcore competitive game and a party game. It's not either of those. It's in the middle due to its a hardcore community. But do you have MMR in a game like that? I don't know. We're gonna rework the RPD. This is very good news. I don't hate RPD anymore now that I've played it about 69,000 times. But it's a good map when you walk it for the 300th time, and I feel like confident. I'm like, I know this map now. And then suddenly I'm like on the west wing, first one. I'm like, oh, where was the stair again? And I can't find it. And I have to walk a couple of blocks, and it's like, oh, there it is. And it's like, that still happens on that fucking map. So it's probably good. It's getting a rework. It's the largest map in the game by far. It's just hell for most killers. If that mid-gen disappears, it's like, yeah, now you're gonna run between the wings, and it's... That's certainly good, but it's getting a rework. And then more login bonuses, Blood Rush, and boosted Rift Fragments events in the future. Sounds great. Observer storyline is being shaken up. Yes. And this is the big one for me. Killer and Survivor perk overhaul. Over 40 Killer and Survivor perks overhauled at once. And this, I really liked the developers, by the way. They gave a great impression talking about the game, I felt. And I think it was the lead designer who talked about the perks, and he said, and he even named them very, very accurately. You know, like Killer's Run, Corrupt Intervention, Ruin, Scourge Hook, Pain Resonance. God, what other killer perks did he mention? I don't remember.
Music loud, brother.
Oh, it's the music super loud. There we go. Oh, pop, exactly. But with survivors, he was like, you know, there's no doubt about it. Everyone has dead hard. Everyone has decisive strike. Iron Will. Which more did he mention? Oh, borrow time, obviously. There's 3 of those that are so over the top on the survivor side that everyone uses them. Borrow time, self-care is a little bit of a joke. But killer side has more interesting perks because there's quite a few different builds you can do. I think the strongest killer perk is like Corrupt Intervention. It's very hard to play a base M1 killer without Corrupt Intervention. In high MMR, you're asking to get gen rushed within 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes tops, basically. You can't. It's like this guy, Michael Myers. He has way too little pressure. His pressure is extremely weak. There's no mobility, really. So gens fly unless you have Corrupt Intervention. So that's the one perk I would say, that's the #1 killer perk. And then you have a lot of other strong ones, but there is some variety because it's not like on the survivor side where there are like 5 perks everyone and their mother uses. If you bet that a survivor is using dead hard, decisive strike and borrowed time, you'll be right 9 out of 10 times. Everyone uses those perks. And that's because dead hard and decisive strike are the best perks in the game. I believe dead hard to be the #1 perk. I know a lot of people will not agree with me, but I think that is actually the most game-defining perk in the game. And it's just the fact that you'll see it 4 times in a match. Because you'll have 4 survivors all using dead hard. And I know in low MMR, and it's like maybe lower intermediate MMR, it doesn't seem that broken because you're like, hey, you know what? I just wait it out. You're chasing someone and they're just running, and then there it is, they dead hard into a wall or just into the open, and you hit them. And you're like, oh, that's not too problematic. It's just that in high MMR, it's never used in that way by survivors. They will exhaust a loop, and then they will use it to clear their way. They use it for distance to go into another pallet to start another loop. They will never use it when you are in range to hit them, to swing. They will use it prior to that. They will know at what distance to use it. And a chase that could have lasted, you know, half a minute is suddenly now extended by, could be another half a minute or even more. And it's usually referred to as a third health state. But it just doesn't work, in my opinion. This game is heavily survivor-sided in high MMR, and a chase, even without dead hard, can cost you so much time that you easily lose 2 generators. And the dead hard just makes this problem significantly worse. I find the perk to be unbelievably broken and the best perk in the game by quite a margin, I would say. NOED is also a perk we can mention on the killer side that is extremely strong. Extremely strong. But sorry for talking so much about that, but they are going to rebalance all of those perks and the top 40 perks used by killers and survivors. And this is really, really good news. Because it's not a good sign when everyone is using the same perks. Rebalancing, I'm sure there will be a new meta. It's just that dead hard is way too strong. Way too strong. It has to come down. It just has to. More people have to be incentivized to try sprint burst, live, balanced landing, you name it. And they are going to be more consistent in balancing these perks going forward. Great. Oh, I love this one. Prestige system rework. Gives players more direct, quick, and easy access to perks. Prestiging a character for the first time makes very techables available on all the other killer survivors' webs. Prestige no longer caps at free. Prestige no longer removes perks and items. So when you prestige a character, a killer, you know, to get that awesome new bloody outfit, you don't have to start from scratch. You keep all of your, you know, survivors. You keep all of your perks and items. Thank God. And the first time you prestige level 1, their personal perks go to all the other killers, level 1, and they're already unlocked for all the other killers. My God, talk about reducing the grind. This should have been there a long time ago. Mori is to be removed from offerings. Instead, when you down the last survivor, you will immediately trigger a Mori and execute them. I think this is a pretty cool change. So no more mercy or giving the hatch to the last guy. They are going to die. Well, they call this the finisher Mori. And then quality of life changes, new vertical main menu layout, so not this one, you know, horizontal towards the bottom of the screen. More clarity makes more information visible, like events, can see how much time is left in the rift on the main menu. And this one is also amazing. We're going to have preset loadouts. So this means, for example, when I play Mr. Mike Myers here, I can choose between 3 different loadouts. So this is like in Tekken where you have 3 different customizations, but this will also be perk loadouts. So this is my Sweat Lord loadout, where I go super meta, pain resonance with agitation, deadlock, corrupt intervention. And then, oh, this is my meme. I'll do the grab, whatever it's called. You know, agitation, iron grasp, mad grit. You know, a meme build to kill altruism. And then another build, you know, so instead of, it's so difficult, in my opinion, to find all the perks all the time when you've unlocked like 100 of them. So this is very nice, very good. And then matchmaking incentives. Players get extra blood points for playing the role that's most needed at that time of the day. So, for example, when I play in the morning, queue times for killer are very, very long and survivor instantaneous. So this means that if I choose to play, if a game will incentivize me to play survivor in the morning, because there's not a lot of survivors online, so I will get bonus blood points. It will tell me like, hey, you will get bonus blood points if you play survivor right now. So it's a pretty cool thing. And oh my God, this, I swear to God, listening to this stream, I was like, oh man, they're nailing it. We're adding that, this is great. And I said to my friend while watching it, like, the only thing I would need now is just a practice mode, and then I would be in heaven. And literally 20 seconds later, a developer says, we're adding bots. You'll be able now to start, finally, a custom match without having to ask a friend to jump in with you. You can now add bots, so now you can just, without having to sweat or play other people or drag a friend along, you can load up a map with bots. And you can learn the map. You can practice vaults. You can finally take an hour or more to just lab the maps. Spend hours on the goddamn maps. Or practice the killers. It's like there's this myth in the community that each killer has his own MMR. That is not correct. It's tied to your account. When I pick up a new killer, I'm playing strong survive with friends, you know, and I get obliterated, and it's very, I don't mind it too much, but you know, it's not fun getting looped 9,000 hours, or you know, 9 hours trying to learn Blight or whatever. So this is great. I can now practice killers with bots. I just don't understand how this took 6 years. Streamer anonymous mode obscures your name, the names of your friends, you know, when you stream. Oh, so they can't see I'm a streamer and come to my chat and harass me. I don't know, but that's why my name is you know, .tv, TheMainManSWE. So you can come to my chat and say, you goddamn tunneling son of a bitch. I know, I don't mind that. And there's going to be an Attack on Titan crossover collection. So there will be outfits inspired by Attack on Titan. And for those of you who are fans of Attack on Titan, must be amazing. And then the Dredge, which is the new chapter inspired by the Boogeyman. The Dredge to me looks like a variation of the monster from The Thing. The sideways vagina mouth with teeth, the head, and as they said, you know, it's a combination of different body parts come together. It's literally The Thing monster. But I thought it had a great look. I like the customization with dolls, where it's constructed by dolls. On Hadi Car Avenue Survivor, I loved how different she looks. Yeah. She was born in India but raised in Quebec. She can see areas of the world where the entity bleeds over. She has a number of encounters with creatures of the entity's origin. This is where her scars come from. Garden of Joy, blah, 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 blah. And then, amazingly, the leak was true. We're gonna get Resident Evil Project W, which is, of course, Project Wesker. I love Albert Wesker. Can't wait for him to be in Dead by Daylight. It's gonna be super hype. But, I'm gonna jump out the fucking window if he doesn't have voice lines. I mean, they've already done this to Freddy Krueger. Like, the guy who's literally known for his, you know, Robert Englund, sassy, cocky, humorous voice lines. I still don't get that Freddy does not have voice lines. So if they do that to Albert Wesker, who is just mute, it's just like, what a wasted opportunity. What a wasted opportunity. But I'm super hyped for Wesker, and I guess this means after Wesker, we're gonna get a Knight killer, a Knight. Awesome! I can't believe we don't have a Knight already. It should be very Dark Souls inspired. And last but not least, Dead by Daylight Dating Simulator. I did not know this was something we needed, but I mean, considering, I mean, it's like when I go to the Tekken Reddit and people draw, men sit down and draw Asuka all the time with huge, oversized, sweaty tits, and you can tell it took hours to perfect the drops of sweat on the tits. Took hours. Oh, I wonder for how many hours they had a boner while drawing. So it's the same with Dead by Daylight, I hear. You know, there's apparently a Reddit forum where they have bare-chested Michael Myers with the girls going down on their knees in front of her. And it's like, yeah, okay. You know, it's not my thing, but apparently people like that. So that's going to be a thing. Apparently it releases on Steam. A Dead by Daylight dating simulator. It was gonna feature 4 killers that you could date. By memory, it was Wraith, Trapper, Spirit, Huntress. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, those of you longing to date these killers, finally, you have your dating simulator. But so, yeah, with everything I've mentioned, I think they... Yeah, I gotta stress again, they knocked it out of a fucking park. My God, what amazing news. Absolutely amazing news. There's so many things to be hype about here, but to me, it's gonna be like the top 40 perks and what they do with them. Because, to be honest, just removing Dead Hard or nerfing it, keep the iframes, remove the distance. It would do so much for the game. But I understand them. Like, how do you balance an asymmetrical multiplayer game like this? Where it's one guy, a power role, versus a team, 4 survivors. Already that, super hard to balance. And then you have, what, 36 maps or 37, 26 different killers. 100, 200 perks, a shit ton of add-ons, items. How the hell do you balance this? And we have to look at different levels of play, obviously, and they seem to balance the game around intermediate play or lower intermediate play, where you find the majority of players, and that's where they feel the game works. The balancing works. It's just that when you go to high MMR, the only viable killer suddenly is Nurse. No one else can keep up. The survivors are way too strong. The 90% of the maps are way too abusable for survivors. So balancing this is incredibly complicated, if not impossible. But I'm very excited to see if they can, you know, fix some of these problems, you know, and we have a more balanced game in a few months. Well, it would be great. So those were my thoughts. Thank you so much for listening to me, the 5 people on my channel who clicked on this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. And Chris Crane is a fucking douche!